Hello, and welcome to Papa Joe's Trains and Toys. Welcome to my hopefully soon be nice train room. We'll be building a HO scale train layout. I'm a beginner, and the videos that I'll be making are basically for beginners. I'm still learning this hobby. I do have some knowledge from watching other YouTubers and well more experienced modelers than I am. I have been wanting to do this for quite a long time. It's entertaining and is very calming to me, and I like learning new skills. I have done some buildings, airplanes, ships, and a couple of HO scale boxcars I have put together. I am currently working on producing this video at the same time that I'm filming. I do have some stills that are on my laptop. I'm going to go ahead and push play on them for me to be able to see, and then you'll be able to see them as I edit the video, and you'll see what I'm talking about as I go along here. So this is my workstation. It is mostly organized. I do think there can be some improvements, but this is where I stand at the moment. My paints and weathering powders and sandpaper and things like that are all quite organized. This next picture here, I do have a airbrush paint booth to vent outside. My laptop station normally sits out there, and some other little odds and ends and specialty tools. This is one of the first builds I've done since returning to doing hobbies since being a kid. I think I did an okay job until the very end when I overlapped using a different clear coat than what I had put on before. And as you can see, there's some rippling effects on the clear coat because it kind of slid a little bit. The surface was too smooth at that point in time. A little bit about myself. I am a former military, Marine Corps and Army. I am a father of 5, grandfather of 3, and I'm hoping to pass along these kinds of skills, not just to them, but to other young modelers. This was my first HO scale building. It's actually modeled after one of the Baltimore fire departments in the late 50s. I did get it secondhand, and this is where I really started to learn how to use watered down paints to fill in between bricks and some of the weathering powders that I've used. I've gotten a little bit better at it as I go along using different washes. But I am still learning. It's a large learning curve to do this process. Here you can tell the brick's already been whitewashed a little bit so that you can see the grout a whole lot better than the beginning. And down at the bottom, we've added a little bit of grime and dirt and detail, as you would see on a normal building. The pathways here I've dusted up a little bit with some weathering powders, some dark charcoal powder, and you can tell where people have entered and exited the building. The rooftop, you have an exit to go out to the roof, to the flag, and to the air raid siren. So I did little walking paths, as those are the 2 places that you would have walked mostly while being up there. A little bit of extra dirt and grime around the corners. Here's a side view of the same building. I did do handmade curtains after some critique from some other modelers online, so that the windows didn't look uniform. Typically you can see through a lot of these structures, and with those window coverings on there, and I redid the blue ones that are in front of this. They're now the cloth ones as well. I'm going to go ahead and pause that for a moment before I get to the next picture. I've been watching YouTube videos and model train videos since, I don't know, just before the pandemic hit in 2020. it inspired me back to when I was a child and working on model rockets. I did the International Space Station. I did an SR-71. But back then, you know, being a younger child, 10, 12, 13, you don't always have the necessary skills. And I was always very disappointed in what I was building. They didn't come out very lifelike. They were, you know, generic models that you would pick up at Kmart or Sears or older stores like Toys R Us, and they typically came with the paints, the testers, glue, and it was all goopy and different things like that. I've thankfully learned from others out there that there are better glues, there are much better paints. I am extremely new to all of the finer details, the airbrushing. This is the first time I've ever done that. The woodworking that you see around me, I'm getting ready to put down foam. It took me a couple of weeks. This layout is going to be about 11 foot by 12 foot with this 4.5 by 5 foot circle in the middle for me to be able to run my trains and do some wiring. The HO layout will be a DCC layout, which is the newer type. Instead of just being able to run one train, I'll be able to run multiple trains and do different signals and switches electronically nowadays. And at some point I do intend on going ahead and making it computer controlled so that the switches and lights and everything turn automatically depending on what I want the train to do. The foam here is actually a cheaper foam than what I wanted, but it's what I could afford at the time to get. It'll be the base foam where it'll get painted, and then track will be laid on top of this after some roadbed cork that I put down. And in follow-on videos, you'll be able to see some more of that as I video and work along. There's going to be quite a few different scenery aspects to this layout. It's not just one area that I plan on modeling. There will be a mountain scene with a coal mine and coal building on top of it, with the trains being able to run up there to it. There are a lot of plans in the works. I have my track plan all done on my computer that I'll eventually get printed out and translate to the layout itself. However, moving on, this is, like I said, more of an introduction to me and this channel. It will be primarily about trains and buildings and doing different weathering techniques on boxcars and engines, but you will see some videos of me doing wiring and learning how to do that process. So this next building was this also a second hand from Facebook Marketplace. I got a bunch of stuff pretty cheap online. I recommend if you're starting out, that's where you start. Because the cheaper you can get it, if you mess up and you just destroy something, you can start over. It's not a big deal to waste a couple of dollars versus buying something expensive online or from, you know, model train stores and then destroying it or completely messing up and not wanting to go any further. So I say buy some cheaper stuff, trial and error, learn how to do things. This is a rural train station. I've made it pretty dirty and shabby looking. I don't think I actually have the finished picture on here of it. The roof's a lot dirtier, and so are the window blinds that I've made for it. It'll be on the layout in a dustier part of the scenery that I plan on making, but I thought it turned out pretty well. This next picture here is just one of the boxcars that I put together recently. I have not weathered it or put anything on it. It's just a stock boxcar that came straight out of the box, assembled, put it together, added actually new couplers to it than what came with it. I'm going to be using KD couplers on all of my rolling stock and engines so that I don't have to worry about derailing or uncoupling inadvertently, or at least I hope not to. I do understand that can be a big problem sometimes. But I just wanted to introduce myself. Like I said, Papa Joe's Trains and Toys. I look forward to making hopefully many more videos. If you enjoyed this video, I do have one already up on the channel other than this. Please like and subscribe below, and have a great day.